So after evaluation, we are going to discuss about documentation. Okay. Hello again, everybody. This is Dr. Mai, your medical surgical nursing lecturer. And in this discussion, I'm going to talk about documentation in the care of clients with chronic illness. Documentation in the care of client with chronic illness is a very important component of nursing care, especially for clients with chronic illness. It ensures continuity, quality, and safety of care by accurately recording the client's health status, interventions, and responses. Chronic illness requires ongoing assessment, management, and coordination with multidisciplinary teams, making detailed documentation a critical point. Why is documentation in chronic illness care important? First, it provides a complete and accurate health history and clinical status of the client. It facilitates communication among healthcare providers and with the client and family. It documents the nursing care provided and the effectiveness of interventions. It serves legal and ethical purposes by providing evidence of care delivered, and it supports evaluation and modification of the care plans as the illness progresses or changes. Okay. Now, let us talk about principles of effective documentation. This will be our guidelines and consideration in coming up with our individual documentation. So before we start or while we develop our documentation or our documents, we must consider the following. First, the timeliness. Document care as soon as possible after it is provided. It will enable us to document accurate and important data and information. Second is accuracy. Include objective, clear, precise, and factual information. Third is completeness. Cover all aspects of care including assessments, interventions, response to treatment, education, and referrals. Fourth is confidentiality. Maintain the privacy of client information. And the last one is legibility and standardization. We need to use approved forms and standardized terminology to ensure readability and consistency, as well as understanding of other healthcare team members. Okay. Now, key elements of document in chronic care or what should be included in our documentation. Okay. First is the client's current status, including physical, mental, and emotional status. The history of chronic illness, including its onset, progression, and exacerbation. Ongoing assessments of symptoms, vital signs, and functional abilities. Medications, including names, dosages, schedules, and adherence information. Treatments and nursing interventions provided, as well as our clients' responses. Education provided regarding disease management, lifestyle modifications, and symptom monitoring. Referrals to specialists or community resources, and plans for follow-up, and continuity of care instructions. Now, what are the different documentation formats and tools? The use of standardized nursing care plans and clinical pathways for chronic illnesses will help facilitate our nursing processes. Okay, one of the format that we can use is in making up our progress notes will be the SOAP or the SOAP, which stands for Subjective Objective Assessment Plan, or the PI format, which stands for Problem, Intervention, and Evaluation formats. Okay. So again, when we use the SOAP or the Subjective Objective Assessment Plan, okay, it is a widely used method that structures documentation into 4 sections. The S stands for subjective, and this includes information that the patient or the caregiver reports to us, such as symptoms, feelings, and personal experiences like their chief complaint, the history of present illness, the past medical and social history. Objective contains measurable, observable, and verifiable data collected by the healthcare provider or by us, including the results of vital signs, the results of our physical exam findings, lab results, and diagnostic tests. Assessment or A is our clinical judgment or diagnosis based on the subjective and objective information, including patient progress and interpretation of findings. Plan or the P is the proposed treatment plan, interventions, medications, further testing, referrals, patient education, and plans for follow-up care. This format will help us provide a clear and comprehensive view of each patient encounter, promoting continuity and coordination of care. So likewise, the PI format, which stands for Problem, Intervention, and Evaluation, is another documentation method focused specifically on nursing care. P stands for Problem, the identification of the client's nursing problems or needs. I is the intervention or the nursing action or treatments provided to address the problem. E is the evaluation or the outcomes or client responses to the interventions, showing whether the problem was resolved, improved, or requires modification of the care plan. PI notes tend to be concise and are organized around actual nursing problems rather than the entire clinical picture. They help highlight the nursing process and its effectiveness in managing patient care. Okay. Another tool is the EHR or the Electronic Health Record for comprehensive, accessible, and up-to-date documentation. Now, this EHR is a digital version of a patient's comprehensive medical history maintained by the healthcare provider team. It includes key clinical and administrative data relevant to the patient's care, such as demographics, progress notes, problems, medications, vital signs, past medical history, immunizations, laboratory and radiologic reports. It improves healthcare by streamlining access to patient information, reducing the duplication of tests, minimizing medical errors through accurate and clear documentation, and facilitating better coordination among other healthcare providers. They support evidence-based decision-making, quality management, and outcomes reporting. EHR also enhances patient safety by making critical health information readily available during emergencies or during routine care. Unlike paper records or our documentation, EHRs are integrated, searchable, and accessible across multiple healthcare settings, which enable more efficient and effective patient care. They also help in population health management by aggregating data for analysis and improving chronic illness management through timely updates and communication. Okay, the next tool is the discharge summaries, detailing resolved and ongoing problems, treatments to continue, medication list, and restrictions. It is a concise medical document that provides a comprehensive overview of a patient's hospital stay and care and serves as the key communication tool between the hospital and the next setting of care. Example, yung mga nursing homes or rehabilitation or another health facility. It ensures continuity, safety, and clarity in ongoing management after discharge. Now, what are the key components of discharge summary? First, the reason for hospitalization. It should bear the primary diagnosis or cause for admission. Significant findings. These are the important clinical findings and diagnostic results during the hospital stay. Third, procedures and treatments provided. It should bear details of surgeries, procedures, medications, and other treatments. Fourth, the patient discharge condition. It should discuss the clinical status of the patient at discharge, including vital signs and functional status. Fifth is the patient and family instructions. These are information on medications, diet, physical activity, wound care, and follow-up appointments. Medication reconciliation, which is a complete and updated list of medications and patient will continue or stop. Follow-up plans, which is the scheduled appointments, tests, or therapies required after discharge. It should also include attending physician's signature, which is very important because it will serve as an evidence that the patient is really being discharged. Okay, attending physician's signature should bear authentication of the document by the responsible healthcare providers. So discharge summary is an important document that will support continuity of care and patient safety following hospitalization. What should be our special considerations? Okay, first, frequent documentation during status changes or acute exacerbation, noting client self-management abilities and compliance with treatment, documenting patient and family teaching consistently. Okay, another is reporting and documenting any adverse reactions, complications, or unexpected events. Proper documentation in chronic illness care is very important for successful management and improved client outcomes. We must be diligent, accurate, and thorough in our documentation to support holistic, client-centered care and effective interdisciplinary collaboration. So that concludes my discussion about documentation. I hope you have learned something from this discussion. Again, thank you very much for listening.